What if the biggest obstacle to your child's success is the school system itself? You send your child to school hoping they'll learn, grow, and prepare for the future. But for many students, especially those with ADHD, learning differences, or anxiety, traditional education isn't setting them up for success. In fact, it may be doing the opposite. And it's not just something parents feel, research confirms it. Most school environments aren't designed to support neurodivergent students. Let's talk about how schools are falling short, and more importantly, what you can do to make a difference for your child. Schools were designed for efficiency, not for individual learning. The traditional model was built during the industrial age, prioritizing memorization, compliance, and standardized instruction. But today, we know this approach doesn't work for every child, especially those with ADHD, anxiety, or learning differences. The research explains that students with ADHD often need more movement, regular breaks, and alternative instruction approaches to stay engaged. Yet many schools continue to use a rigid structure that punishes these needs instead of accommodating them. And that's just the start. Let's break down how the system is setting students up to fail. School expects all students to learn at the same pace, in the same way, in the same environment. But children process and retain information differently. When a student doesn't fit the mold, they often are labeled as lazy, disruptive, or not trying hard enough rather than supported. Standardized tests are meant to measure success, but do they really? These assessments often penalize students with executive functioning challenges, misrepresenting their intelligence and potential. Kids who shine in creativity, big picture thinking, or hands-on learning are overlooked simply because they don't test well. Then there's homework. After spending 7 to 8 hours at school, kids are expected to spend several hours at home more on working on homework. For students with ADHD or anxiety, this is overwhelming. Instead of rethinking the system, we blame the students for not working hard enough. And while we drill algebraic formulas and historical facts, we rarely teach students how to manage time, cope with stress, or handle real-world responsibilities. The same research emphasizes the importance of teaching executive functioning and emotional regulation, but most schools barely touch on these skills. As a result, students may graduate knowing how to pass a test, but not how to navigate life. So what can you do? First, recognize that your child's struggles are not a reflection of their intelligence or potential. If school isn't working for them, it's okay to question the system. Advocate for accommodations. The CDC and other experts recommend supports like extended time on tests, movement breaks, quiet workplaces, or access to assistive technologies. These can be formalized through a 504 plan or an IEP. Be specific, share what's working at home, keep communication open with the teachers, and don't be afraid to follow up and request adjustments if accommodations aren't being implemented. Even more importantly, help your child learn to advocate for themselves. Encourage them to ask for help, speak up when something isn't working, and develop the confidence to take ownership of their learning. That self-advocacy will serve them in life. And if your child continues to struggle, consider exploring alternative learning environments. Some students simply need a setting that adapts to them, not the other way around. At the Tenney School, we do things differently. Our one-to-one instruction model allows students to learn at their own pace, with personalized support and fewer distractions. No crowded classrooms, no rigid systems, just an education that works. If you're tired of watching your child struggle in a system that doesn't fit them, visit the link in the description to learn more about what we can do for you. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe for more research-backed insight on ADHD, learning differences, and how to set your child up for long-term success. Because every child deserves an education that works for them, not against them.